Hello and welcome to the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host, Eric Smith, and today I'm losing my paper. Today I'm talking about The Roo by Alan Baxter. I had to double check that. I believe it's self published. There's this logo here, and I cannot decide what that is. So if anyone can tell me what that is supposed to represent, please let me know. But The Roo by Alan Baxter. I'm just going to tell you right off the bat, I absolutely loved this book. Um, so there is a foreword, and I'm just going to tell you what's in there. Some people apparently don't read the foreword in a book, which makes no sense to me. If you're the type of person that doesn't read the foreword, jump in the comments. Let me know why. I even dated a girl that yelled at me for reading the foreword in a book once. But anyway, the foreword in this book explains how it came to be. There was something going around on Twitter, I believe. I'm just going to read this headline. Australian town terrorized by muscular kangaroo attacking people and eating gardens. So this was a headline that was going around on Twitter. A bunch of horror folks started talking about it, how it would make a great old-fashioned horror novel. And Keelan Patrick Burke, I believe, let's just do a quick double check. Yes, Keelan Patrick Burke, artist and author, did a quick mock-up of an old Zebra horror cover. Zebra was a publisher of great pulpy horror back in the day. So he did a quick mock-up of what an old cover might look like, and people were saying, someone's got to write this book. Alan Baxter jumped in and said, hey, Mr. Burke, he probably wasn't that formal. Mr. Burke, I will write the book if I can use that artwork as the cover. Keelan Patrick Burke agreed and did a more polished version of that artwork. And I love this distressed look. This is not, my book is not beat up. This is distressed. And if you look very closely, it's not coming in very clearly, but it says zebra. It has that old-fashioned zebra information up there. It even has a price of $4.50, which would probably put it around the 90s when this came out. $4.50 sound like the right price for a book in the 90s. But anyway, I absolutely love this old-fashioned looking cover. And so Alan Baxter wrote this story, this book. It's 120 pages. It's quick. It's fantastic. So before I get into the story here, there's a glossary in the back. Mr. Baxter is from Australia, and I believe, boy, that would be embarrassing if he was not. He is a multi-award-winning British-Australian author of horror. So anyway, he's got a glossary of Australian terms in the back, because there's a lot of it takes place in Australia, a lot of Australian slang. I'm going to share my 3 favorite with you. Coming in at number 3, your blood's worth bottling, which means you're a lovely person. You're a great person. You did something solid. You did me a solid. Your blood's worth bottling. Love it. It's fantastic. All right, we're going to get into some foul language here. Number 2, get a dog up ya. That means go fuck yourself. It's just fun. Get a dog up ya. But number 1, I absolutely love this phrase. I hope I can work this into conversation every day. Now, the meaning of this phrase is we're not here to waste time. Right? We're not here to waste time. The phrase, we're not here to fuck spiders. It's got fuck in it. It's got spiders in it. How can you not love it? We're not here to fuck spiders. Let's get a move on. Absolutely fantastic. So, yes, glossary of all these terms. So what we have here is the town of Morgan Creek, out in the countryside of Australia. It's a small town, and there's this big, over 7 foot tall, super muscular, Arnold Schwarzenegger looking kangaroo killing people. That's basically it. And it's great. It is fantastic. The first couple of chapters, we start off with just some cannon fodder characters. It's kind of what I expected from this whole book. Again, very short, I'm thinking there can't be too much character development. It's just going to be a fun little, like, made for Sci-Fi Channel kind of thing. And the first couple of chapters have that feel to it. We meet someone, they get killed by the kangaroo. We meet a couple other characters, they get killed by the kangaroo. But then we meet our main cast. And Alan Baxter does an amazing job of giving these people real character. We get to know them. We get to know in this little tiny book. We get to know these characters. We get to know this town. I get a feel for the size of it and the layout and the spread of the different homesteads. And it's just fantastic. I'm so blown away by what he was able to pack into this little tiny, beautifully covered package. And yes, there is plenty of kangaroo killing people in glorious gore. Absolutely love it. I have some absolute favorite kills. Just some that I love them. Absolutely fantastic. But that's the frosting on the cake. There is heart and soul to this book. There actually is a message in here, and there's an afterword. And again, is there anyone that doesn't read afterwards? But there's an afterword that actually talks a little bit about, the author talks about some of the themes in this book, which is great. That's just a nice little touch. And I don't think he put it in there as a nice little touch. I believe it's heartfelt. And I'm not going to tell you what that is, because it is a big part of the story. But we've got, again, we have the layout of the town, and we meet, excuse me, we meet all these people in town. And, well, our main character is Patrick McDonough, I guess. I mean, he's the one named on the back of the book, but I think there are others. And a lot of characters are named after people that were in that Twitter thread that led to the birth of this book. So I would say if there's a secondary main character, it's Keelan Burke. But we get to know them as individuals. We get to know them as from the jobs they do and the friends they keep and how they interact with the other characters and how they react when they realize what the hell's going on in their little tiny town. And I mean, I, again, as always, don't want to give anything away, but I don't think, aside from very, very specific things, there's not much to give away. It's a small town in Australia with a killer kangaroo problem. And again, it does kind of play out like a sci-fi movie, but if a sci-fi movie was written by the greatest screenplay writer out there and directed by the greatest director out there, but the story beats itself, I would say, kind of follow that theme. Again, you got the kind of cannon fodder at the beginning, then we meet our characters, then we get another little sort of side kill, and then some more of the character stuff, and then our main characters start getting into some trouble, and eventually, of course, it builds to all hell breaking loose, and it's just it's a quick. I read it in one day. I took it to work with me because I always read on my lunch break, and I started it there, which I have about 20 minutes to read, and I knew that as soon as I got home from work, I was just going to sit down and finish this book. Again, not long, so that wasn't difficult, but absolutely worth it. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and that may seem surprising, but it's not just a fun, entertaining read, but it really is so well written with such great characters and the great slang. I mean, yeah, it's not Silence of the Lambs or The Great Gatsby or 1984. It's not some classic. Excuse me. It's not some book that was adapted into an Academy Award-winning movie, but it's a solid, fun, well-written story. I think it deserves 5 out of 5. It's great. I've already gone on Amazon and looked for more Alan Baxter stuff. Threw some in my on my wish list. So the next time I place an order, they're going to go right into my shopping cart because this dude can write, and this is not a horrible place to start. If you like fun, gory creature feature stuff, this is the book for you. The Roo by Alan Baxter. And speaking of creature feature, I should have said this at the beginning, but I'm not editing this, and I'm not going to reshoot it. This is going to be kind of a mini creature feature week. So this video is going to be posted on a Monday, because I've been posting on my book reviews on Monday and Friday. So this one's going up on a Monday. On Friday, I'm going to have another Australian creature feature. Just felt like it. I read this book, and then I read another one by an Australian author about killer animals in Australia. Seemed like a fun thing to do. So now that you've heard how wonderful this is, be sure to stick around, check out the other video on Friday, and see what I think of that book. Of course, if you're watching this way in the future, you don't have to stick around. They're both going to be on YouTube at the same time. But anyway, that's The Roo by Alan Baxter. Fantastic. Pick it up, read it, love it. Just stare at that cover for hours. And that's it. That's all I have to say about The Roo. So if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, let's talk down in the comments below. And we'll be polite. Or I'll have to say, get a dog up ya. Love it. Although that's still not as good as we're not here to fuck spiders, but I didn't know how to work that into this video. So anyway, let's talk in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Eric Smith, and until next time, read more books.